Can I?
I could
if
hold
you
it
can,
up.
Yeah,
That can be the official. Oh, you got
No,
it.
I think that's it. Cool. So what is this? This is cool. So
So, the imps are obviously your hands in the world, and kind of they represent you as well. So
Yeah.
it's like the cursor. And what Kareem's doing now is he's just starting a new sculpt,
yep.
and just gonna go from there. So, kind of the monster's quite round, so it makes sense to start with a
Sphere.
sphere or like ellipsoid style shape. And we have this awesome feature, just we call it soft blend. And instead of just placing down hard spheres, we can put down these soft spheres, which lets you kind of block out organic shapes quite easily.
Yeah.
And you could do that with any shape. So I think right now he's using a box, or maybe a. Oh no, it's still an ellipse, which is very thin. So those are all the different primitives you have, and you can grab any one of them, and then you can sort of stretch them and bend them. So the whole thing feels very much like playing with clay. So there's no polygons or vertices to mess with. You just grab the pieces and go, go, go. And again, the soft blend really helps because it kind of lets you do these complex organic shapes, but without having to think about, oh, I'm just going to blend this bit in or whatever. You just, the eye stalks are a cylinder. You just grab a cylinder, soft blend it in. Same with the eyeball. You get really nice, kind of interesting shapes from that. Yeah, it's looking.
Wow, what's going on there?
And obviously, just like you can add the clay, you can also cut the clay away. So in the same way you can do soft adds, you can also do soft subtracts. So you can use that again to make very nuanced cutting pieces. So instead of doing, again, kind of smoothing like our packages, we really just embrace this idea that it's volume-based. And the smoothness is all done using these smoothing operations. And all you really need to learn is how to add clay and then how to take it away. So you start by learning what are my primitives, and you really just need the box and the ellipse. You don't need a lot. The cylinder is also really good.
Yeah.
Like you saw, Kareem's been basically just using the cylinder and the...
I'm going to find some eyes to put.
Yeah, and you obviously don't have to sculpt the whole thing. We have a full featured search, so you can go and check out what other people have been making. You can search for eyeballs, or you could just go to other people's. There's like an eyeball collection there.
Oh, wow.
So one of the cool things in Dreams is you can make these collections that you curate. So maybe you're not interested in sculpting, but you go around the whole Dreamiverse, and since there's so much stuff, part of the community role is actually to curate that content and figure out, hey, where is the best eyeballs, and where. So somebody's made this eyeball collection because they figured, oh, hey, like eyeballs are really useful. So you'll have different kind of collections, collections of trees for forests and things like that. So without even having to do any sculpting, you can just stamp objects on and bring them on. Oh yeah. So do you think that's wings?
Yeah, I think
is that
kind of like wings.
Was the intent wings? That's cool. Okay. No, we'll work with that. I think there's quite a feathery kind of splat setting, right?
Yeah.
So the kind of unique feature of the Dream sculpting is that we have this thing we call the splat engine, and it allows us to give a very painterly look onto the clay itself. And right now we just have different presets, but it's going to be fully controllable in the future. These are just kind of debug settings, but that way you don't just do hard modeling, you also do this kind of painterly look, and that's very good for fur and feathers and things like that. So Kareem's just made this wing, and just like any other shape you can place, you could just clone it, and now you have two wings, and flip it around. And then you can publish this creation. You can, people can then use your pieces if you allow it. You say, hey, I want to publish these wings. These are awesome. So somebody else will find the wings and put them, on their Pegasus or whatever. So the whole thing is about sharing and community. That's kind of why we're here talking to you guys, because you're going to be the big part of it. Obviously, we're going to make content for it, and there's going to be like a game you can play, but the game is going to be a lot about teaching you guys how to use the tools to make your own kind of dreams. So we think that the big push of it is really going to come from the community.
Let's put some teeth.
Oh, yeah. Nice and jaggy. Oh, you could do the repeater.
Yeah.
Go for, yeah, so we have this crazy repeater tool that lets you just clone objects multiple times. So you can make a whole mouth full of teeth kind of in one go, just,
There we go.
hey.
Crazy monster. And that I think that monster needs a body.
Okay.
So to jam a bit with you, we will give it its mechanical body.
One of the coolest things about our search is that it's very people focused. So instead of looking for pieces necessarily, you can just look at different creators and what they've done, and you can just say, oh, you know, I know that John Beach does really good mix, so we'll just look at, you know, what John has done lately, and we'll just bring some assets in from him.
There you go. Cool. That's it.
There you go. Nice one. That was about as fast to do as the sketches.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the whole thing was to make the tool Anton was touching on, allowing people to have the same experience that the guys had drawing these pictures, and the same kind of fun, and also making you go in different directions. The thing that happens sometimes in normal digital processes is that you get very precious. After a while, you can't change things very easily. A traditional game character would take a 3D artist a long time to make, and as a result, and then after that, it takes a long time to prepare it for animation, and another heap of time to make the rigging of it, and so change becomes quite a difficult and strenuous process. And
Yeah.
we wanted the artists and the designers, the people who use Dream, to just feel like at any point they can change their mind and have fun with the tools. Maybe Anton can go through some of the spaces that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to roll right into the play demo, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could show you some of the different things that we've made just for the show, to show you the kind of creative freedom that you can get by jamming on this for a week or so.
Yep.
Did we connect this controller?
Yeah, there we go.
Is it?
Yeah, what Anton will show now is some of the reason we've done the project is to in Little Big Planet, our approach to making games more accessible was to make it charming, to try to appeal to the nostalgia of your childhood, like, and create our sets from felt and cardboard and familiar materials. In Dream, our big inspiration was dreams, making people able to project their own personal touch. So some of the hardest things in the digital creation is to tell from looking at a 3D space. Is it still going? Yeah. So some of the hardest things to do or to see in a digital tool is the style of the person that made it. In comic books, for example, you can always have your favorite artist, or in music, you have your favorite musician, just by seeing their unique style. Although they're using the same instrument, a musician could be using a guitar and still have their particular unique style. And in the digital world, in the game world, we don't really have the equivalent. We've got like styles of a studio, and you can see their particular tone of gameplay or their particular humor, but that is more their decision making is what you're seeing, rather than the actual style. You can't look at a scene and go, this is so and so who did this scene. While in Dream, our big focus was to make it a bit more like concept art. This space that Anton has started with is a wood scene inspired by one of the San Francisco redwood. And John, the artist who made it in a couple of days, I think. And usually a game environment would take much longer than that, and lots of tools and texturing and the grass system and the water system and the atmospheric system. And it's just like a lot of systems just to get this space going. The time it took him to do this space is faster than a concept artist would need to paint it, just to do one shot or a couple of shots. So and also because of the style of the tools that we showed you a very quick flavor of doing the monster, you really capture the feeling of the user because of this analog philosophy where we place the objects manually one by one, and you can really see the touch of the author's hand. So personal experience was first point that we wanted to achieve. Also in the character designs, like you look at this bear that Anton is using and to walk around the set, and it's using our character design suite. We use it to make all the different characters. So he's going to this cricket up there in the balcony is using the same character tools, but it's done by a different artist, and you can see the flavor. I think this one was one of Emily's or one of Maya's, and it has a very different style as well. So and I love this sort of angles. It shows you how painterly the thing is. The next thing we wanted to do is like, what does that mean in terms of game and game worlds? This personality. How can we go from one space to another and have a completely different feeling, a completely different character design style, a whole different look? Using the same tools, you are transported to a very different feeling. This sea monster character is one of our, I think, who did that one? Maya did that one. And the way Anton is moving it is very different to how you control game characters. Usually in game characters you have the sticks, the buttons to jump and really run through pre-made animation. What Anton is doing here is using the DS, moving it around and creating all these movements and performances on the fly. There is not one single animation that this character has. This is all Anton's gestures. So again, building on the same analogies of what we do in the making of the assets, we took that further in performing with those characters. So you can make a little puppet show or a play using your different characters, and you hit record and you can make your cutscenes in a very different way. We always say the time it takes to make a cutscene is the time it takes to watch it. Exactly like the time it takes to play a song is the time it takes to hear it. It's like a performance analogy, not a very meticulous engineering-oriented tool set. We wanted it always, even if you're not into the creation and you just want to navigate and explore the games that people will make, the act of playing them in their own right is expressive and will be unique to every player. Like when you go to visit a country and you navigate, you do go around, do your sightseeing, and choose how you want to be. Anton now changed from one character to another. And that is a game mechanic that we are intending on exploring and expanding on. Using just the scale difference between one character and another allows you to go to places that aren't accessible by the big one, and so on. But we want to build on that so much more and get to use our audio tools to make you hear the character thoughts when you possess them, and know their missions and hear their goals. And these are the things that we're going to do next. Now, Anton jumped into a painting, and it's inspired by Cezanne. One of our artists, Menlu, loves to do his stuff inspired by his favorite artist. And the pair was done by another artist who likes to do cute characters. And the engine that Anton is demoing here, this is a good one really to talk about the engine. We spent a long time developing what we call the painterly engine, which not only looks arty and beautiful in our opinion, it's more in keeping with this messy create style, which allows you to make your shapes and make your pieces of furniture in a way that is much more forgiving. In your normal 3D engines, every mistake is evident. Every little imperfection is a problem that needs to be solved. In Dream, we celebrate mistakes. I always say that the mistake is a better word for it is a liberation, because it allows you to get more courageous and try things that you wouldn't have tried before. So this tool, and it's not done in a sort of filtery post-production kind of way. It's actually there when you're creating, using these brushes, different strokes, like we showed earlier in the making of the monster head. The other things that we wanted to explore as well is the different moods that you can get from the spaces, like that space one we'll go to. The nice thing that we found, these were our first results of game jam we did in the office, where we actually asked everyone to do their favorite set. And we didn't have a preconceived plan, because we wanted to explore the feeling of how different and puzzly and surprising it is to go from a wood to a space station. And that in its own right reminds us of dreams. You know, when you're in a dream and you are in a scene from your life, and then suddenly you're completely in a different place. And the explanation why that happened only makes sense to you, only because this is all fragments of your memory and your imagination. And we want to play on that. Some games like Psychonauts, or writers like Neil Gaiman have really explored the concept of dreams, and we want to see what the equivalent is in our game worlds. This puzzle here is pretty neat. The character is just exploring, and
the imp can kind of help out to get around and move objects around.
Yeah. When Anton breaks out of the character, you see this little creature that we call the imp, and this is basically your 3D presence in the world of Dream that you use to this character over there.
And it sort of is the creative force in the game, so it's what also makes all of the dreams. But also it has this ability to possess characters, so you can jump from one character to the next.
Absolutely.
In this case, go into this huge mech that can break down these crates and shove them around.
Now this mech was done by one of our designers who was really into his mechanical design. And again, you can see the very different style of this level. It's more of a traditional game space where you have a shooter or that sort of adventure type game. And these were the ingredients that we want to leave with you. That Dream is a place that you can surf between very different styles, very different genres, very different tones and modes of gameplay, and they're all done 100% using the PlayStation controllers and the PlayStation powers. So it's a very exciting for us to be able to give you a glimpse. And in the next rounds, we'll be showing more gameplay, more music, and more exciting things. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, everybody, join me in giving them a big hand. That was an impressive demo. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna move a little furniture right here. Let's just move this out a little bit. Perfect. Grab a seat.